Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, we all got the memo. So, Congresswoman, it's good to see you. So, all right, so the president clearly politicizing the border. Your reaction to Hillary's report here, he's not going to do something until before the election?
He has the power to do it now. We've pointed this out numerous times. He knows the statute. He's even identified it. The Speaker, Mike Johnson, put it on his desk and said, you can do this now. You can close the border and you can deal with it. You don't even have to wait for Congress. You already have the power. It's kind of like, you know, Dorothy from Kansas. She didn't know that her ruby slippers had any value until the end. But, you know, Biden just doesn't want to do that. And it's terrible. I mean, I come from the northern border of New York. I have almost all of the northern border, literally like all of the border with Canada. And we have seen huge increases in our northern border. And the biggest problem is that we have, Mexico and the cartels. They give passports that they're probably fake to anybody that wants them. They buy them. They go to Canada, and a Mexican passport does not require a visa in Canada. They come across New York, and guess what we do in New York? We give them valid driver's licenses, and they can go anywhere in the country with that driver's license. They can even register to vote. Oh, and yes, they're protected by what's called the green light law in New York, which means you can't actually attack or you can't actually address or ask or even inquire with public government officials, whether it's the Department of Motor Vehicles, the police, or anyone, as to the status of someone who's illegal. So this is a huge problem in the northern border, and we're seeing huge increases, and these crime rates are not getting any lower. People are very concerned about that.
Yeah, you know what? Newsweek is reporting President Biden is suffering a, quote, border blow. That quote, the proportion of Americans who believe the United States does not have control over its borders has increased substantially over the past 8 months. About half of Gen Z voters, millennials say, and Gen Zers say he's lost control of the border. Gallup, their polls show the number of voters who list the border as America's most important problem more than doubled since last fall. I mean, that same poll, Congresswoman, shows that voters are twice as likely to say the border is America's top problem versus the economy in general, Congresswoman.
There. Say that again. I'm sorry, I lost you for a second.
So basically, the Gallup poll is saying American voters are twice as likely to say the border is a problem. This is a Gallup poll versus any other issue.
Look, the problem is we had an opportunity we passed H.R. 2. We had another version of H.R. 2 that we couldn't get passed on the House floor. Many of us were willing to compromise on the essentials. For me, and based on all of my discussions with numerous border agents, I'm meeting with Tom Homan tomorrow to talk about it even more. Remain in Mexico and eliminate catch and release are the two most critical elements. We said, why don't we attach that and at least get that out of H.R. 2? But there are people on our side who want 100%. They can't take any compromise. And when you have a one-seat majority, sometimes a compromise would be great. And in my state, that would make a tremendous difference because of the laws in New York. This detainer law that was violated was actually the reason that Laken Riley was killed. The New York PD was forced to let her killer go, and then he ended up killing her.
Yeah,
it's our laws that are the problem.
Right, and he was let go in the first place, I think, because they didn't have prison capacity or, detention capacity.
Another issue.
Another problem. Got it. Claudia, Congresswoman Tenney, thanks for joining us. It's good to see you. Okay, this story.